Hello and welcome to In the Light, Growing Your Soul with me, Anna Isabel. And I am so happy to be speaking with my guest today, who is NT Hettigei. Hello.
Hi, Anna. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, it's a pleasure. You have written this book with a very intriguing title, and the title is Beyond Our Self-Image, the true story of a fictional character. And I really, that is such a lovely puzzle to begin with. I
Yeah.
think that's where we need to start. Who is this fictional character?
Me, you, and everybody. In fact, actually, when I realized that really with my uh, life all alone, I realized something wrong somewhere. And I was exploring myself. And then finally, I realized everybody in this whole world is living in a fictional character, just, being a victim of our mind and being in this fictional character and then making some decision which is really not good for you sometimes, not good for anybody else either. But you go along with that because you just justify it or you just speculate that, oh, this will be all right, and then go away. But in the process, everybody suffer, right? Make their life miserable, mostly. Mostly, I would say every time, but mostly. So when I looked into my self, my story, and then realized there is a true self within me, which I was really ignoring all the time. When I said the even the most of the people, I could see that they are ignoring their true self, which is actually a very happy state. And I once I realized that, and since then I have been living my life with happiness, with blissfulness all the time, because the rest of the things, what is happening outside the world, and even inside me, most of them are really incidents. To me, they are incidents just happening. Why should we really cling to those, or why should we reject them? Be balanced. Be
So,
with your inner peace. So that is why I say that really it's a fictional character we are living. But yeah, go ahead, Anna.
sorry, sometimes there's a little bit of a time delay, and I don't always gauge properly when I should come in. Um, but so what I'm hearing is the average person listening to you going, now, come on. I look in the mirror and there's somebody there. I can actually touch myself and touch other things, and you're telling me I'm a fiction. This doesn't sound quite right.
All right. Okay, I'll give an analogy. Think about an actor or an actress. So he put all makeup and everything and all that and getting to the stage. And you would look at him, oh, he's an actor, right? And then, but you don't feel like actor because he's just enacting the emotions and everything what need to be projected through that character in that play. And then you looked at that person and think, oh, that is the right person. That is the person that really is a king, or maybe somebody, right, like an activist. He's just acting upon on the stage, and you think, oh, he's a horrible man, oh, he's a good man, and all that emotions come through you, and but you never mistaken that person on the stage to the real person within that person. Are you with me?
Oh, yes. So it's making me
So
think of, although this kind of comes from an Eastern philosophy, an Eastern way of looking at the world, it is not a completely unfamiliar concept, given that um, Shakespeare wrote, "All the world's a stage, and we are merely players." And I think that that is
exactly.
the concept that you're bringing to us. is that
Exactly.
if we step outside of ourselves and observe ourselves as though what we are and what we are engaged with in daily life is a play in which we are actors, then it's easier for us to detach a little bit from the drama and be more at peace.
Exactly. Thank you, Anna. You got it. And then thanks for bringing up that connection to Shakespeare's statement as well, because I have seen so, although it seems like that is a Eastern philosophy, but I have noticed so many, Western philosophers, they come up with the same idea, but with different words, of course, or maybe different phrases. But when I see those phrases, I could see, oh, this is what he's talking about, and then I can relate to my experience and endorse that. And the same, that is why I wanted to bring this subject on this book for people to understand. This is the actually phenomena that really nobody has been I mean, it's been hidden because of all this fictional character. Now, if you go to like, the Rene Descartes, he was just saying the same thing. I think, therefore I am, right? So that means your mind is creating that fictional character, and you think that really, oh, that's me. But there are different faculties within us. I can go into this later.
Yes. I guess the question that begs then to be asked is if the person I see in the mirror and the person whose name is on my passport is part of an act, then maybe the question needs to be not who am I, but what am I?
Very good question. Very good question. When you refer to passport, I had the whole difficulty of changing my name on the passports because I have a long name and it's not fitting into the format that in every country they used to. But anyway, going back to that your point, it is a very good point, and I think you brought me into the right place because we think that really this body and mind is the one thing, and then this is we, and then that's what we see in the mirror as well. But whatever you see in the mirror is actually seen through your cognition, right? That cognition is different than me. That is why you can see something differently. So there are two different faculties. Actually, the in deeper level, but with a surface level, there are three. In the sense, one is body, which is the physical body. Second is, of course, your mind. But underneath that, your cognition, or some people call it consciousness, some people call it your awareness. So that is separate. Those things are two different, I mean, the three different things, but I would rather take this mind and body as one thing, which is that fictional character. Because as in the fictional character of a stage play, the character is being putting makeup and then changing his physical appearance too. Similarly, we do that too. Think about that. If you get angry, you change your whole face expression. So it is very doable, right? You don't need any chemical or anything, but within your just simple thought change or the emotions, you can change your whole body, right? So to me, body and mind is the same, just one faculty. But apart from that, you do have that your consciousness or cognition, that awareness. So you can separate it when you just settle down with your mind. So you just settle it separately. Okay, go ahead, Anna.
Well, I was just thinking about a a saying that's going around, and I can't remember now who it's attributed to, but the very idea being that we are spirit having a human experience. And I think this is another way of saying that. And I think that what I'm understanding from what you're saying is that we need to, in order to be at peace within ourselves, we need to remember that, that we are spirit, consciousness, soul, whatever, however we want to put it, that this life that we are living is not who we truly are. It obviously informs the essence of us, and we're learning something as we go along, but we need to remember who we actually are so that we don't get lost.
Exactly. That's right. When we think about that, the remember who we are, when you, as you mentioned, that it could be, name as spirit, your spirit. But when I say remember you who you are, the irony is another thing is that you can't remember who you are. You have to experience who you are. Once you experience who you are, you don't need to remember anymore. It sits there underneath. I can just feel it right now. It's underneath me. So it is there. That's actually surged through you when you are interacting with people. So that will give you the base, the ground of this calmness or that alertness, I would say, or that consciousness or that spirit itself. Actually, that will help you to be in calmness in the midst of any chaos.
It's important because it's like an anchor, because while we are experiencing what it is to be a human being in this world, in the context of the life that we are living, it's very easy to be thrown off track or to feel a bit like a leaf in the wind, because of the challenges that life brings and the strong emotions that we experience as a reaction to those challenges. So to remember that there is more to us than this identity, I think, is a very important way of anchoring ourselves and connecting with something that's perhaps a strength, that's stronger and enables us to carry on in what is a fairly challenging world.
Yeah, that is true. That is possible. That people, as you explain, and then even people who are listening may think that, oh, this is an impossible task. Nobody can, let go of this, your emotions, and then you will be really entangled with it. And there are some different techniques around the world now. It's merging all the way, like vipassana, and then different other techniques coming through to show that really there is actually the science within us that really we can explore and then go into this deeper level. And then it's not actually thinking or really conceptualizing or analyzing it, actually experiencing it. That is what I'm bringing in with this book, the Beyond Our Self-Image. That is that I do have three different steps on there, and then it has the inward path and then the outward path. So you would have noticed that really it's something in the page 84 somewhere. I just put a diagram as well to show that really the people we are all aware of everything happening, and then we think that this is we are. And then as you, or at the very beginning, you mentioned that, oh, who's listening here now, they might think, oh, this fellow is really a man. How can this be, right? So that is our normal consciousness or our awareness or our attention. And then it's actually bundled up with all these concept, sometimes the opinion from others as well. So that is our first layer. But I wanted to go, people to go a little deeper than that, and then I call it pure attention. So don't go along with these others' opinions, and then don't be restricted by all these divisions and any other things, but you just open up yourself and listen to what's these guys are saying, or is all these spiritual teachers are trying to convey. So that's the first layer. Now, so many people in this world are open to that. I have seen that really. I have experienced because I've been in different countries and I know that really how the people are reacting, and I have that interaction, and I was really observing them as well. So that is the first layer. Second layer is some people are really go further into that, and then they are in touch with their heart and be generous and be actually helpful, and then we trying to help others. In the same time, of course, they might be having some other intention behind that, but still they are helpful. So that is the second layer, which is I call noble heart. So many of us here, I mean, whoever listening and everybody, they do have some kind of, pure attention, and of course the noble heart as well, because it may comes and goes, like, time to time, they might feel like that and they might just go down. That's okay. That's our human nature, right? That is the second layer. And then after that, you need to actually, if you really focus on that, your noble heart, and let that noble heart to settle down and show you that your true nature, then you will realize that really how happy that place is. When I say how happy, it is not like, joyful happy, but it is actually how peaceful, how inner peace that you can experience by yourself. So that is what has been really, that is why this everybody is interested in, even Eastern and Western are looking for some solution off from this secular world. So that answer is there. Go
I
ahead.
think it's important that we clarify here that we're not talking about suppressing emotion.
No, not
And
at all.
my work as a therapist is always to help people not suppress emotion, but instead be aware of it, connect with it. But what we're
Exactly.
talking about is something that takes us beyond emotion, so that, yes, you still feel it, but it's we have a way of dealing with it. It's not about ignoring it, denying it. It's about saying, yeah, this is a pretty intense, awful time, or I'm very scared, but I'm just going to allow myself to have that feeling and understand that this is temporary, that it will pass, and that it's an experience. It's an
Sure.
experience. So it's if we come back to this idea of watching ourselves on a film, that detachment enables us to deal with that intensity. And in fact, from a therapist's point of view, there are times when working as an analytical hypnotherapist and people are regressing to very difficult, intense moments. And one of the techniques that I teach them so that they can process that is to just step away and watch and observe. And then they're able to get perspectives that they didn't have before. And I think that's really what we're talking about here, is to step
Little,
away, step aside, and just observe, acknowledge the feelings, but also
exactly.
at the same time, not allow ourselves to be carried away with the feelings, and just step outside and observe and consider and process in a different way so that we're not
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, that is what I mean. You are doing a very good job with as a therapist, and then I know so many people. I mean, around the spiritual teaching, that is the core teaching of that how you do it. And but I go a little deeper than that, and it is this is the reason why this is actually I'm trying to bridge a gap in this field as well as on the spiritual field, because with my experience I do see that there is a gap in between those two. So if I elaborate a little bit more, that what you have explaining is really good, which is really the like if I bring an analogy, it is like somebody is on the shore, like or just out of the beach, and writing something on the sand, right? You write your name or something else. So then all of a sudden when the waves comes, it just washed off, right? So this is similar thing like what you were doing. If some people have that, drawing like, going with their mind and then having the anxiety or depression and all that, but you come and then wash it off. Or don't, I mean, this is how it can be done. And so you give the techniques for them to just to take it off. So that is very good in the sense that when they are in that trouble. But to my point is, when I saw that that is all right, and then some people have been cured and then go home and then win again. But after a long time, they forget about all that, and then again they are in the trouble, and then they must have to come back to you, right? In the same thing. That's good. So this more deeper level of this, especially on the Buddha's teaching, and then especially on the other spiritual teachings, what they're trying to do is go beyond that, because that is not one incident by incident that you have to deal with it, but you deal with the whole world. Any emotion, not even for the sad or bad emotion, but actually even the joyful and very high level joy or the things, but you will have that for a while and then it goes away. So this changing the attitude, that the changing nature in this kind of a experience, in this existence, can be understood by going beyond this existence. So when I say beyond your self-image, actually the underlying meaning is you're going beyond your existence experiences, what you have. So once you get there, you will see that it's not that really you have no sand to write anything, or actually it's just water. Nobody can write on it. You can't write on it. Nobody can write on it. Nobody's opinion will not disturb you at all. So it just goes away. It may start a little bit, but it goes away. You don't have to take any effort. So this solution, I mean, this experience, this true experience, when you have it, it's kind of a cookie cutter solution for everything. Some people might take it negatively. No, it's not good. And actually, it is the unique experience that originally, of course, the Buddha mentioned about it as like how to let go of all your emotions, because all this emotion start with your thoughts. As if I go to that original example, like if you get somebody say something, and if you think that is not good for me, and then you get that emotion back, and then emotion will react on you, and then you come up with your angry face. So that whole process runs on just with that mind, and then engaging that mind with this thought. So once you get this experience, when I say that really that on the three layers, I said that really after your noble heart, you will go down, or you dwell in your inner peace, if you get that. Because I do have 17 practices in my book, which if you go through those practices, you would see that really you are gradually coming down in that path, into that inward path, into that inner peace. Once you get that, then it's turned out to be an outward path, in the sense that really you will not react to anything, you will respond to everything. So with that kind of experience, you don't have to go to, be a ascetic or let, let go of this whole world. No, because you are so skillful. And I wouldn't say that that word is wrong. It's not skillful, but actually it's you are in line with this existence as a whole, not like individual thing, not like your house, your home, your parents, or your very close, or your son or daughter, but actually you are engaged with the whole thing. So you treat them as the same way, but don't think that it might reflect on individual. No, it won't. Individual will, you will show the actual, you have that same compassion to everybody. This is what even Jesus was saying, that really love the neighbor like you. So then, if you are really in line with your inner peace, you will be really in line with the whole world, and then the whole world will be in peace. That is my mission actually from my childhood. You would see that I have a website called ancientpath.org, and that is actually the my I titled that as the path to inner and global peace. The path to inner and global peace, ancientpath.org. So I had that idea from my childhood, but I created this website in 1992 when the internet is just in the dawn of coming up, and then I realized, oh, so I actually acquired that the web address, and then start adding something and trying to express myself to say that really this is how the whole world can be, in peace. But nowadays I can see my effort is, I don't need much to do because everybody is doing the same thing. And most of those spiritual teachers and some of the organizations, they are trying to make that really for people to get that inner peace first. So that will spread or radiate around everybody. So that's the whole purpose of this book. And then I already have wrote a book. I mean, earlier I published a book, self-published a book with that Explore Within, A Journey to Inner Peace. But I had some criticism about the book because I was referring to most of the people around the world, and then, all the philosophers. And then they said, no, it's not your story, tell your story. So then I started writing this. So if somebody is willing to, I mean, if you are interested in finding a little bit more, you can actually go read this book, The Beyond Our Self-Image, and the true story of a fictional character. So I'm basing on my true story and my fictional character and try to help others to find out their own.
So how did you make that discovery that there's more to you than the face in the mirror?
Very good question. I was very impressed. I was listening to some of your podcast, and then I realized you have that inclination of identifying how we can do this. So here's the answer. So there is a good sermon from Buddha. It's called Ogre. It's actually in Ogatarana in English. Actually, the crossing over the flood without doing anything. So if I put on the different terms, awakening while doing nothing. That is what it is. So as I mentioned earlier about that, even the therapist and all that, people can, cure those kind of depression and all that thing by through the mind. You actually using your mind and then giving some messages to your mind that really, oh, ignore that, that's not right, and that's good. I mean, that is how you can, purify mind. But at the very deeper level, when you purify your mind, but you could identify, you can experience, although you think that really whatever coming outside is disturbing you, but there are some things coming inside too, which has been really embedded into our core, which we never knew. Actually, those things sometimes you would have noticed, sometimes even you will surprise, oh, how can I do this? Because it's really second nature to me, but it was there in there. And similarly, some of the things that really you may remember, or you might find somebody that who's playing well, and then you can say, "Oh, I can do that." And then you start playing, oh, you can play actually. So that because of something inside you, there are uh, embedded skills, or I would say embedded attributes you have, which in Buddha's term he calls it actually asa, in the sense in deepest level that really you already brought into this world. You know all about that because you did hypnotism, right? I have done hypnotism too. And when I was about 14, 15 years old, I was just experimenting it. And then I actually knew a couple of people. One people was actually having that difficulties. And then, so I gave the same, like, the answers. And then within 2, 3 weeks, he was okay. Okay. And he was stuttering. But later on, his stutter went away. So, so those are the things that really comes in between. I mean, in a very deeper level. So those things can be let go. As you ask the question, what you need to do is actually you have to bring up ambience within you, because in that case you are not dealing with your mind anymore. If you open up your that inner self with that ambience, then the actual true nature will show up to you. That's the way to go into that level. So that is why the meditations are really helpful. But you know that still I've seen that some of the meditation are used for some kind of benefit, like those are side benefit for me. Like having depression and then anxiety and all those things will go away if you do the real meditation. But that is just a meditation, as what you do is you just get away from this chaos mind or the monkey mind, and then you settle down with one layer, which is actually your awareness. That will help you, of course. But through that, once you actually open up that awareness, to open up in the sense that really the true meditation, in the sense that if you let go of all these distractions, if you go into my practices, on the very last practice, this is which is the favorite one, I was just referring to, when you are in silence, you may hear a little vibration in your mind. Even that, if you identify it as a vibration, your mind is involved. But if you can just shift your focus onto the other half of your mind or other half of your brain, which is silent, where it's very calm, no vibration at all. So if you focus onto that, that is more than enough. You just focus on that and then just let that condition to show up. It will come through you. You will feel that layer of layers that you have been carrying forward in this so many life will goes away. It's not going to tell that I was this, I was that. No, it's just like the condition. It is my favorite example is, of course, here we have all these central heating systems, right? So especially when you sit down, so, you're in meditation, on all of a sudden, halfway through, you hear that all this, your central heating system just shut down. And then there is a calmness coming through underneath that. So it's kind of from one layer, you just absorb into the separate, different layer. So that way, that's the analogy I use. When you have that ambience within you, when you allow that ambience to show you the actual true nature within you, it will just drop one layer to other layer and go down and down, deeper, 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 deeper. And at one stage, you will realize, you will experience there is nothing more to do. That when you are touching the beyond your existence, there you don't have any death, no, no birth, nothing. It's so profound. It'll be there all the time. Now you don't have to remember this. It's all over. So that is what I mentioned that even like, then after that, it's like water. Nobody can, draw any line on you. So it's a kind of, I'm putting it that I had to put that into words to convey this. Otherwise, there's no word to express this experience. That is the
No,
experience that so many people are now sharing. I can see people like, very famous people who has a different way of saying that, okay, be in the present moment. So that's the same thing. Because some people might think of present moment. That means not in the past, not in the future, in between that. But still, it's a concept. Some people is being really the misled or the misinterpreted, and then I'm in the present moment. I always try to be in the present moment. No, there's nothing like try to be in the present moment. It's being in the present. That is how you get there. If you get there, you are in the present moment all the time.
yeah.
Correct.
And so this is a good point at which to remind everyone that the book that we are discussing is Beyond Our Self-Image, the true story of a fictional character. And there is plenty there to help you to step outside of the role from time to time and delve into that inner peace that we are all craving. NT, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for your contribution, I think, on the discussion, and then thank you for having me, and then allow me to share my experience with others. Hopefully, this will help everybody.
And just a
That's
reminder to everyone, your website is ancientpath.org.
that's right.
I'll be
And
putting,
this book is available in everywhere, like Amazon and Barnes and
yeah,
Noble and any other bookshops in
I'll be
London as
putting
well.
to it. I'll be putting a link to it and your website in the description box. So thank you again.
Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thank you all for watching. Next time, we're going to be considering what happens when we age and the different attitudes to what is a very natural process. Until then, have a great week and goodbye.